Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining our session. My name is Casper. I'm a design lead at Snap Automotive, and I'm here joined by Francisco.
Hey everyone, my name is Francisco. I'm the tech lead of the product, but I don't like to be called that, so I'm just the one doing the codes with my colleagues. I'm very happy to be here. Since it's been a while since my last talk in DroidCon. I think it was 2016 maybe. It's been a long time, so this guy decided to do something like this, and here we are.
Right, so we're here to talk a little bit about Android for cars. There have been a bunch of talks before. We'd like to share about our progress that we've done on our product, and a little about how we use Jetpack Compose to make our infotainment system customizable. So the reason why Snap Automotive was founded was exactly for this reason. So in-car software doesn't have the greatest reputation for being good and easy to use. Snap Automotive was started from Snap Mobile, which is the larger development agency, and we were engaged with a few car brands, so we understood the challenges they have in terms of development and design when it comes to in-car software. So when Google released Android for cars, Android Automotive, we took that as an opportunity to see what can we do with Android, and can we make in-car software better than its current state.
Come on, it's awesome.
If you like gradients and shadows and everything.
More gradients is always good.
So the core to making software better is what we've been doing at Snap Mobile for some time, and it's all about the developer experience. What we see with large car makers is that they have huge teams and working on very long development cycles, working on expensive hardware that takes months to update, communication issues between teams, etc. So we thought, what can we do to speed up development and basically bring the mobile development speed to the car industry? So we started running Android Automotive on Samsung tablets. But not only that, we made our own firmware updater. So we can do firmware updates. We're doing them now twice per day, I think. And we made our own app store. So with the App Store, you can just upload an APK to GitHub, and it appears on our App Store for development purposes, basically. Which means that Francisco is based in Portugal, and I'm based here in Berlin. We can very easily work together on a new idea. Francisco can push a prototype app to the App Store. I can download it, and I can install it in my car, drive around, and test it immediately. And like this, we can iterate multiple times per day and really explore what is possible with Android.
The best part about this is the person like Casper doesn't have to have any technical background to install an app, have to put a cable on the computer, run the command, adb installed command. We just push the stuff to GitHub, run an action command, the app gets built, pushed to our server. In seconds, it's available on our app store, and in one button, the app is there, and sometimes everything is broken. But more often than not, it works just fine.
So this is kind of the foundation of the company, and we thought, okay, what can we do with this? Could we build the entire in-car software in these rapid iterations and see what we can do with it? So that's kind of the foundation for the product we call Snap OS. So this is a full, what is called an infotainment system in the car industry. So that infotainment stands for basically the operating system inside the car. Now, obviously, we are not going to sell this to big companies like BMW, who's here today. They have their own talented teams of developers. But what we've seen is that there's many different types of smaller car makers who don't necessarily have the skills and the resources to make their own software. So this could be classic cars that are being converted to EVs, could be small city cars, or even like million-euro hypercars. Now, these are, of course, examples of companies and not our actual customers, but we can't really say.
Obviously, we have one of these cars in our building, so it's fun.
So what is it that these companies want to have? They want to have a completely unique product that doesn't look like another car maker's product, and they want to have the best user experience that's possible, but not at the same cost and development time of a big system. But that's a big challenge, and the cool thing is that Android actually allows this. So we have been trying to get the best out of Android Automotive to make this possible for these low-volume car makers. And I'm going to share one or two approaches we've done to make the user experience a little bit better. The first one is the way we look at infotainment. So traditionally, big car companies, they are focused on one thing, and that is building cars. So when they think of an infotainment system, they think of something that is inside the car. So if you want to find a destination in your navigation system, you enter the car and fill in the navigation system. If you have an issue with the car, you have to go inside the car and see what the issue is on the display, etc. Some of them, or most of them these days, have a companion app, but that's quite limited. It's just a remote control for like the air conditioning or maybe to see the location of the car. But when you can start from scratch, and as a software company, we're not thinking that much about the car, we can actually do much more interesting stuff. So instead of looking at infotainment system as something that is inside the car, we consider everything that is the touch point between the driver and software as the infotainment system. So it's not just the car, it's the app as well. That's one part. So that means that the companion app basically becomes an extension of the infotainment system, and you can start to see like which features make more sense when you're not inside the car, and which features make more sense when you are inside the car. But inside the car, there's actually more context, because you can be driving and you can be in park. When you're driving, you're absolutely different needs and different requirements for the system than when you are in park. And so we adapt the interface to the different drive modes and to your context, if you're inside the car or outside the car. So just quickly what that means is, here's an example of our drive mode. So as you can see, it's focused on multitasking. So you have navigation and media at the same time. The buttons are super big because it's a touch screen and you're driving a car, and having to aim your finger at the tiny buttons really sucks. So we make the button nice and big. And we work with sort of smarter algorithms to predict kind of the interactions you want to do. For example, if you listen to a Spotify playlist at certain points of the day, we will suggest it to you so you can skip certain parts. So it's basically there to help you not be distracted, to help you get from A to B. But then when you shift the car to park, the UI changes to basically become like something like a normal Android tablet. So it's focused on apps. And that's when the system kind of opens up. So if you want to install new apps, if you want to change settings in the car, if you want to explore more detailed maps, that's all possible in park, like watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix. All of that is when you are in park. But when driving, we restrict that. We just say navigation and media. And then maybe the most important part is, of course, the app. Because when you think of it, a lot of the interactions you have with your car are not really useful inside the car, because when you enter the car, you are thinking about going from A to B. You're not thinking about, oh, I should do maintenance on my car, or I should change some settings, or I want to personalize the UI to my preference. And that's why the companion app is so important. So my colleague had a great example. He shared a screenshot of his car showing, hey, your washer fluid is almost empty, which is quite pointless information when you're driving because there's nothing you can do about it. But when you are sitting at home and the notification comes on your phone, that's when it makes sense. Same for personalizing the UI. If you are getting in the car, you're not going to explore all the features in your infotainment system. But when you are bored at the dentist waiting for your appointment, that's when you pull out your phone and say, like, hey, what can I really tweak about my car? And then, of course, the most important part when it comes to the app is the connectivity. And so from the start, we focused only on this and not on features. Because you cannot rely on a companion app if the connectivity is not good. So it happens very often that a car is parked in a parking garage underground that has no internet. So the companion app, you cannot really do anything with it because it cannot connect to the car. So it has to inform you correctly at each point what is happening with the data transfer and where it goes wrong, so you can really start to rely on it. So if you don't have this foundation, the experience with the app is going to be pretty crap. So that's why we focused on that. We really looked at the error handling. We looked at what kind of problems could you have. And actually, the way we develop it with our tablet really helps us because we can put the tablet in the car and explore, like, hey, what kind of connectivity issues can we have? Then when you can start to rely on it, you can do things like this, where you can change the UI theme from the phone. So this is the real app running with the tablet there. And you can change the UI from the phone and see the feedback immediately. So that's just one part of how we're tweaking the user experience to make it more intuitive and easier to use. But for the product, what is the most important is that it's customizable, because we are targeting a wide range of different car companies. And of course, if you have a €1 million hypercar, you don't want the UI to look the same like a cheaper city car. So how can we allow with one product to have such extensive UI customization? And we've split it up in different levels. So first of all, we define the base interaction you will have with the system, because we, of course, are responsible for it to be super intuitive and not distracting while driving. But on top of that, there's 3 layers that you can customize to make a completely unique product for yourself, which is, first of all, the different services and apps you use. But then you can tweak the components and features, and of course, the UI theme is the last layer. So what I mean with the base interaction layer is the following. So depending on the sort of interior layout of the car, we define where the climate controls go. We, for example, say when you're driving, you must multitask or must be able to multitask between media and navigation. We define where stuff like the status bar can go, but other than that, it's completely customizable. So, for example, if you have different services and apps, your system will, of course, look differently. So our product is just a kind of a sandbox to plug in different services. So if you use Mapbox or Google Maps, it's all possible, and the UI will seamlessly adapt to it. Then the next step is the components and the features. So each car interior is, of course, different. There will be cars that have just digital climate controls. There will be other cars that have physical climate controls, for example. There will be cars that have a digital instrument cluster. There are cars that have 5, 6 different displays, and of course the UI adapts to it, so that's one part. But we also make different versions of commonly used components. So if you have a media player, we, instead of having just one design for a media player, we have different versions of it, so you can basically plug and drag different components into there and tweak it to make it really unique. And then the last part, which is probably the most interesting, is how we're using our design system to tweak the UI. So basically, once you have customized the entire product like you want, that's when you can do the top layer, which is the UI layer, and we have built quite a sophisticated Figma design system right now. And you can tweak basically anything from colors to typography, of course, but also shapes and backgrounds and etc. And Francisco will share a little bit more about that right now.
Yeah, so to achieve this theming engine that we are quite proud of, we use Jetpack Compose, which is quite magical. I think when we started this, we tried to fix or make it faster 2 things. The ease of delivery, when you want to deliver a theme update for a client or even for development, and also the ease of development. For example, Casper can be doing changes to the design theme on Figma, and I can change the theme, and then in a few minutes, that theme is going to be delivered on his tablet without recompiling any app, recompiling the system. It just works. So how we did this was engineer, I think it's a clever way to package the entire theme as an APK. Since we recompile the entire system, we have a little bit more control over what we have. For example, we can also theme system UI, which is what you see at the bottom, that bar there. It's part of system UI, part of Android. So we had to get that code and recompile it and deploy it with our system. So that's basically Google's code with Compose magic on top. So yeah, we've managed to find a way, I think it's a clever way, to deploy, to build the themes as a package, as an APK, which gets deployed to the tablet through the App Store, and then anyone can install it and just have fun with it. It's very fast to develop, especially for us. We are not a big team, but it's very fast to iterate through different things. So I'm not going to go into the technical details about this. because it's quite boring. So I'm happy to answer more questions after the talk. But also, the magic of Jetpack Compose is when you change a theme, as you see previously, everything just magically just like snaps and the entire system just changes. You don't have to restart the app, you don't have to reboot the system. It's like in 30 seconds of getting the APK, pushing, installing, and everything just changes. So that's part of the magic of Jetpack Compose. And also, we spent quite some time translating some of the Jetpack Compose units. For example, how do we translate a DP through this whole system? So it's just an integer. So we have several layers of translations through the APK that goes to the server, and then back to our tablet, and we translate everything, and then at the end it gets packaged as a compose theme. So we don't use the material theme; we just have our own snap theme. I think it's basically the whole thing. So now we are going to do a quick demo. Hopefully, it's not going to break. So let's see. So it's basically what we showed you before, that small video, but in real time. So right now we have our tablet, it's working, awesome. So this is the system running at full speed. For example, I'm going to change drive modes. For example, I start to put the gear on drive. We get this data from Android Automotive, from the VHAL, got translated here, and then the entire system just changes like that. And it works, awesome. So now back to the other team. This is a very simple interaction that could happen multiple times through the day when you're driving. So this is obviously the Jetpack Compose power behind this. So everything just recomposes. And now Casper is going to change the whole theme altogether. This is all real. It's all data sent to the server and to here, and it gets all translated in real time. Hopefully it's going to work.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It worked. So this is just thank you. Just an example of an interaction, and behind doors, it's doing a lot of calculations. And even in this kind of crappy hardware that we use, this tablet is pretty cheap, actually. So it's easy to jump around, buy new ones, send to the team, send to clients. Even in this hardware, it's very fast, it's very performant, and we are not even using ProGuard to speed up things. So we ProGuard, things get even faster, and we are not even using baseline profiles, so it can even get faster in the future. So there's still room for improvement, but I think we're very, very proud of what we achieved here. And I don't think there's anyone in the industry doing this type of theme changing with so many things happening at the same time, and this is very easy to expand, and we also have other teams in the pipeline that we are going to work on, and it's very extensive. So yeah, pretty happy about this, and even happy with the collaboration that we have with our designers, and it's very easy to iterate and change. I think that's pretty much everything that we had to share today. So thank you so much. If you have more questions about something more deep than we shared here, we're more than happy to oblige and give you more details. So thank you.
Thanks.